Our team made $800,000 in revenue with one AI employee. That's the story we're going to share in this video. Over the last 6 months, this AI employee made around 700,000 outbound calls and spent about 5,600 hours on the phone. It produced 197 live transfers, and on the back end, the client closed about 15% of them, and a typical case averages about $5,000. Based on that, this one AI employee drove about $823,000 in revenue, no human call floor, no room full of reps, just one voice AI employee doing the work. If you have been on the fence about voice AI, this is the part to pay attention to. This wasn't a demo bot we ran for a week. This was a live US legal campaign with real ad spend, real leads, and real money on the line. Here's what I'm gonna walk you through in this video. What this AI agent actually did, why it beat a human call team on the exact same leads, and what the money looks like when you replace reps with an AI employee. If you pay for leads, rely on phone calls to turn those leads into revenue, and still depend on humans to chase, qualify, and transfer those leads, then what you're about to see is basically your funnel with a different logo on it. Before we go any further, I just want you to listen to this quick live call sample of how the AI agent sounds.
I already talked to I don't know how many people for the same thing.
It can be frustrating to have to repeat your story to multiple people. I'm here to listen and help you with your just to confirm you're not currently receiving any correct? And if you don't mind me asking, what was the outcome of your previous conversations about it? Were you able to get any help or guidance?
No, they just got my information and that was it, and they haven't told me nothing.
Sounds like you didn't get much clarity or assistance from those previous conversations. I'm here to try and help you move forward. Let's start fresh and see if we can get you the help you need. So just to recap, you're not currently receiving any. That's a good starting point. Now I just need to ask you a few more questions to see if you might be eligible for. Can you confirm that you are between the ages of 50 and 62?
Yes.
That helps to narrow things down a bit. Next, I need to ask about your work history. Have you worked at least 5 out of the last 10 years?
Yes.
That's great. Now, I'd like to ask about your medical situation. Have you been treated by a doctor, clinic, or hospital within the last 12 months due to a.
Yes, I've been to a lot of hospitals and clinics because of my health.
I'm so sorry to hear that you've been dealing with health issues and having to visit multiple hospitals and clinics. That can be really tough and overwhelming. Okay, so you have been receiving medical treatment recently. Next, I need to ask, are you expected to be unable to work for at least the next 12 months due to your.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to get squared away. I was trying to see how I could because this hospital and stuff, and so I've been really sick and in and out of ICU and intubated and stuff like that. So it's just been really hard for me and stuff and yeah. So trying to get people help, the right people.
I'm so sorry to hear that you've been going through such a tough time with your health. It sounds like you've been dealing with a lot of challenges from. That must be incredibly difficult and overwhelming for you. I want you to know that I'm here to listen and try to help in any way I can. It's great that you're reaching out for support and trying to find the right people to help you navigate this situation. Okay, so just to confirm, you are expected to be unable to work for at least the next 12 months due to your. Correct? Also, do you currently have an advocate or lawyer already helping you with.
Yeah, not that I know of. I mean, I've talked to all kinds of people, but nothing came through yet or nothing. I mean, and so I'm like, if anything, it's just all been real confusing and overwhelming for me and stuff because I haven't gotten anywhere. I mean, still people are just asking questions but there's no outcome of anything yet,
It can be really frustrating and overwhelming when you're trying to get help and support, but it feels like you're not getting anywhere. It's like you're just answering questions and talking to people, but nothing is happening or changing. I want you to know that I'm here to listen and try to help in a different way. I'm not just going to ask you a bunch of questions and then disappear.
Yeah,
My goal is to try to
yeah, and it's hard too also because I've been like homeless and stuff like that, and I was like staying living out of my van and like staying here and there, and it's been hard to have the right people help me. And I've been so sick and stuff, and people just don't understand that it's really like hard for me because I have no income or anything, and I have no means of transportation or anything, and it's just like overwhelming and stuff, and I just feel like I'm a burden to everybody, and I just been feeling like giving up. I mean, like it's just so hard for me.
And I'm so sorry to hear that you're feeling this way. It's completely understandable given everything you've been through. Feeling like a burden to others and wanting to give up can be a really dark and difficult place to be, but I want you to know that you're not alone and you're not a burden. You deserve support and help, and it's okay to ask for it. It sounds like you're facing a lot of challenges, from your health to your financial situation to your living situation. It's a lot to deal with, and it's no wonder you're feeling overwhelmed. I want to help you. I want to try to connect you with someone who can help you get the support you need. Would you be open to talking to a specialist who can help you with your see if you might be eligible for some? It's not a guarantee, but it might be worth exploring. What do you think?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
I'm going to connect you with a specialist who can help you with your see if you might be eligible for some. They'll be able to explain everything to you in more detail and answer any questions you might have. Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Great. Please hold on for just a moment while I connect you with the specialist. They'll be able to help, okay?
If you want to hire us for building production-grade voice AI systems for your business, if you're an agency owner and want to white label our development services and resell our AI services to businesses, or if you're a business owner who wants to implement production-grade voice AI systems into your stack, check out the first link in the description. And if you want to learn from us how to build production-grade voice AI systems for businesses, check out the second link in the description.
Like the campaign that we're running right now with you guys, in terms of performance, it was my cost per call went from $35 to $15. So almost a 70% decrease in call generation costs, which is huge.
Look, this isn't only a legal firm story. This is a lead system story. If your world looks like this, you run ads, people fill out a form, someone on your team has to call them, and you only get paid if that call turns into a booking, a transfer, or a sale. This is about you. That might be an agency, a lead gen or pay-per-call shop, local services, SaaS, coaching, doesn't matter. If calls drive your revenue, you're in the right place. Whatever you sell, the pattern is the same. You pay for attention, it becomes a lead, someone calls, and only the good ones should make it through to your team. Right now, that first call is probably handled by humans. They try to call fast, they try to follow up, they try to qualify and only pass the good leads through. This case study is what happens when you hand that front part, the chasing, the first conversation, the filtering, to one AI employee instead of a human floor. Let me give you the scoreboard in plain English. There are three numbers that matter in this story. First is scale. This campaign ran for almost 6 months. In that time, about 164,000 people in the US raised their hand for legal help. Our AI employee made around 700,000 outbound calls. That's over 5,600 hours of real conversation on the phone. That's not a rep making a few extra dials. That's the kind of volume you normally need a whole floor of human reps for. Number two is quality. From all those calls, we created over 6,800 live transfers into client's intake team. Almost 1,100 of those were high intent qualified leads. From those, client closed about 15% of these, with average revenue per client around $5,000. So this wasn't spray and pray, send everyone through. It was 700,000 calls, sift out the noise, send only the people who actually meet the rules. The next is money. So at around 15% close rate from the client's intake team, you're looking at around over 665 legal cases, which are worth about $820 $22,000 in fees to the client. To do that, the AI employee cost about $87,000 in total. So that's AI plus the ads. To have humans do the same amount of talk time, you're looking at around almost $500,000 once you include the staffing, management, churn, overhead. So side by side, AI employee, total cost was $88,000 to generate $822,000 in revenue. For the human floor, you need almost $520,000 just to keep up with the workload. Same leads, same market, same rules. What counts as a good case? The only difference is who you pay to call your leads. A stack of humans with salaries and headaches, or one AI employee that lives in code. All right, quick 60 seconds on who we are, so you know who's behind this. My name is Gurinder. Our company is Jujhar AI. We build AI employees that plug into real businesses and carry real revenue. A really common way to build voice AI is to use a platform like Wappy or Retell for the voice layer, and then stitch the rest together with automations in N8N. That's a solid way to ship fast. Where it gets tricky is when you push real volume. That's when reliability can drop, latency can spike, and you can run into call concurrency limits because you don't control the infrastructure. So for this campaign, we built and ran our own voice AI stack on top of Livekit. We call it Vocal Grid. Owning the stack means three things. First, we control the reliability and latency end to end. Second, there's no concurrency cap we have to work around. And the third, it's about 50% cheaper at scale because we're not paying platform markups. And when you work with us, you don't just get a prompt and an automation workflow handed to you. You get the entire voice engine stack plugged right into your business with CRM, routing rules, dashboards, so it becomes part of your stack. If you want the analogy, most agencies rent you the car. We build the car for you. All right, let me answer the simple question. What does this AI employee actually do all day? Actually, there's no magic. It's a simple system plugged into a normal lead funnel. Here's the 5-step play. Step 1, leads opt-in. Lead fills out your form and asks you to call them. So we are not cold calling strangers. The second they hit the submit button on your form, they drop into our system. The step 2 is AI follows up fast. This is where most companies burn money. With humans, follow-up is inconsistent. 5 minutes, 5 hours, tomorrow, or never. With us, we set up the follow-up plan once, speed, retries, time windows, and the AI runs it automatically. Every lead gets the same serious follow-up, relentless, and nobody gets forgotten. And step 3 is the real conversation. When they pick up, the AI has the first conversation. It runs the qualifying checklist, handles basic pushback and objections, decides if this is worth your team's time, and the whole time it's trying to answer one thing. Is this a real opportunity, or are we wasting your team's time here? And step 4 is the warm transfer. If they hit the rules, the AI warms up the handoff and transfers them live to your intake or sales team. So your team isn't picking up a cold mystery call. They're talking to someone who already passed the checklist. The AI does the sorting and the sifting. Your people only deal with leads that are actually worth their time. The step 5 is tune weekly, last piece. This is not set and forget. Every week we listen to calls, check the dashboards, make small tweaks in timing, script, or rules. That's how this stays a production system, not a 1-week demo. That's the system. Now let's talk about the only thing that actually matters, the money. Because if the money doesn't make sense, none of this matters. First, let's talk about what it cost from one AI employee on one campaign over 6 months. So we had around 164,000 leads. We've made over 700,000 calls, over nearly 1,100 qualified transfers. The client close rate about 15% of those. And typical case average is $5,000. That generated over $822,000 in revenue. Now the cost side, ads were 25 cents per lead. So that's $41,000. That's around $41,000 in ads. And the server cost to run the AI was around $46,000. Total front end cost was around $87,000 for this. Let's see what it looks like with humans. we didn't make this up in a spreadsheet. We ran the same kind of campaigns with human reps, same type of leads, same offers, same buyers on the back end, same closing team, same human reps on the other side in the closing sales team. What we saw was simple. Humans converted at about half the rate. The humans doing the first qualifying call, the humans doing the first lead qualification call converted at about half the rate. So to get the same outcome with humans, you need roughly 2x the inputs. So you're looking at almost 330,000 leads, and that would cost you 82,000 in ad spend. And let's look at what enough reps cost. To match the talk time and follow up, you're looking at around 11,000 hours of talk time at around 30 talk hours per week per rep over 24 weeks. That's roughly 16 reps. At a basic fully loaded rate, payroll alone is around $400,000 before QA, management, recruiting, and churn. So the human version ends up around 82,000 in ad spend and over $400,000 in payroll and overhead. So the total cost is around $520,000 to generate the same $822,000 in revenue. So side by side, AI world versus human world. In the AI world, 88,000 total cost, and the revenue is 822,000 and the revenue. And if you look at the human scenario, you're looking at $520,000 in total cost and 822,000 in revenue. Same market, same buyers, same offer, same number of cases on the back end. The only difference is who you hire to call your leads and do the lead qualification. In one world, you are paying salaries, managing people, dealing with turnover, mood swings, missed follow-ups. In the other, you are paying for minutes, letting one AI employee do the same job and roughly keeping an extra $430,000 in your pocket for the same result. That's why we call it an AI employee, not a chatbot. From the client's point of view, it behaves like a very reliable, very cheap employee that shows up every day, follows the process, and pays for itself many times over. Now that you've seen the money, here's the question. Why did the AI outperform a human call floor by about 2x? We ran this with humans too. Same types of leads, same offers, same rules. Human lead qualification team produced about half the cases. So to match the AI output, you're basically doing everything double the leads, double the calls, double the talk time. It's not because AI has some magical script. It's because humans leak and the AI doesn't. It comes down to 4 leaks. First is people don't finish up the follow-up plan. They mean to call 8 to 10 times, then it becomes I'll call later, and then they don't. The AI finishes the sequence every single time. And second is people drift off script, skip the hard questions, and push borderline leads. And on the other side, AI enforces the rules. And the third is people cherry pick leads. They call them nice leads first and ignore the ugly ones. And a lot of the money hides there. The AI treats every lead the same. And the fourth is people get tired. The AI sounds the same at 9 a.m. in the morning, 9 p.m., weekends. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have any mood swings. And stack that over 6 months, and that's the whole story. Now, before we talk about putting this into your business, I want to answer the obvious question. What's the catch? Because there is one. This is not a magic button you slap on anything and it prints money. It works really well in the right environment, and it's a bad idea in the wrong one. So here's the filter. First, your leads are warm. They see an ad, click, fill out a form, and ask to be contacted. They have raised their hand, and we're not robo-dialing a cold list of strangers. And second, you have clear yes and no rules for what is a good lead. In this campaign, a good case wasn't a feeling, it was a criteria. In your world, it might be a homeowner versus a renter, income level, location, timeline. If we can turn that into rules, the AI enforces them perfectly. If you can't explain what a good lead looks like, nothing, a human or an AI is gonna fix that. And third is you sell through calls, bookings, or transfers. If the path to money is booked appointments, qualified transfers, demos, strategy calls, this fits very well. All we're doing is having that first conversation with the AI and only send in the good ones through to your team. Fourth, you have enough volume for this to matter. If you're getting 5 or 10 leads a month, you don't need an AI employee. You need more leads. If you're getting dozens, hundreds, or thousands a month, at that level, speed, consistency, and cost per call actually move the needle. Let's talk about where this is not a good fit. If you're living off cold lists, stripping a list and blast dialing people who never asked for you, this is the wrong tool. The power here is maximizing hand raisers, not harassing strangers. If every first call needs, and second is if every first call needs deep emotion or complex negotiation, it's also not a fit for that first call. We're great at fast response, clear questions, objection handling, sorting, and getting good leads to your closing human sales team. Fast. We're not trying to replace your top closer, your surgeon consult, or your therapist on call one. And if you don't know what a good lead is, that's the real problem. We can help you enforce rules. We can't invent them from scratch for you. And last one, if you just want a gimmick, if you don't care about last cost per call, show rate, or revenue per lead, this will feel like an overkill. This is built to move real numbers, not to be a toy you show off. So quick note on the setup. For this client, we built a lot from scratch, so it took time. Now that we have done it and battle tested it, a typical deployment is measured in weeks, not months. Think of 2 to 3 weeks for a serious setup if your criteria is clear. We plug into your lead flow, your rules, your calendar, your buyers, your calendar, and the AI employee runs the front end, lead qualification. So a quick recap, this works best if you pay for leads. Those leads are warm, you have clear rules, you sell through calls, and you actually care about speed, consistency, and cost. If that's you, this is a very likely a fit. All right, so you've seen the numbers and the system. Now let's hear it from the director who actually ran this operation for 6 months. He's dealing with thousands of leads per day, strict legal rules, and on the other hand, the sales team who only cares about qualified calls. He'll break down why they tested an AI employee, how the sales departments reacted on the other side, and what changed in quality, cost, and stress. All right, let's jump into the interview.
We've been working together for a while, so just wanted to get you on a call, get you some feedback on how we're doing. And so just first of all, can you just share, so what were the main challenges you're facing with human reps only?
I think, I mean, as I've grown the call center, one of the biggest challenges I think with call center agents is appropriate staffing, meaning having the right agent at the right time for the right number of leads at the right time of day would be probably the largest challenge or the toughest challenge to encounter when it comes to call centers.
Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense. So what made you decide to test voice AI instead of just hiring more reps?
I think from a scalability perspective and an innovation standpoint, my preference of testing AI was just looking forward at the future. Obviously, with AI agents, you're not worrying about lunch breaks, you're not worrying about staffing. They can either be on or off if you don't have a campaign that's viable. You're not worried about employing and unemploying. I think from an efficiency standpoint, it's also slightly improved from the perspective that you don't have to go through an interview, hiring process, et cetera, either. Meaning if I need to split up or double the size of my call center tomorrow, it's very easy to do that with an AI versus a call center with human agents, being that there's that lag time of training, hiring, interviewing, et cetera.
Yeah, it makes sense. And they don't call in sick too, right? So
Yeah.
that helps.
You don't ask for bonuses.
Multiple bathroom breaks, right?
That's it. That's it.
So what was the main thing that you feel like changed in the campaigns once we deploy the AI?
What was the main thing that changed? I think a huge differentiator of the AI in comparison to a human, especially given that they're offshore, is the customer experience. Given that you're speaking to someone that doesn't sound foreign, people oftentimes refer to it less as a scam. People are more comfortable sharing information. It also doesn't have a language barrier where it doesn't understand the client as well. So the thing that significantly changed was my customer experience. I find oftentimes they don't mind talking to the AI. If anything, they enjoy it over some offshore reps.
Yeah, I did notice that. Just going through some of the calls, some of the people actually didn't mind talking to the AI once, and some of them actually knew it was AI and still felt comfortable going through the call, which was quite surprising. So it's always a lot of little things that you learn through this process, right? So what surprised you the most from the rollout from the AI?
I think just the difficulty that it goes into it. I think AI is a shiny, flashy object syndrome right now in this space. People are utilizing it for almost every aspect of their life in some degree, whether it's, reading veterinarian records or that's planning their meals and their workouts or their finances, their budget, or, building businesses. I think that AI is leveraged in every aspect of that. And the biggest thing and the most important part of helping that be successful is making sure that you treat it as such and not just something that's going to do it for you. It has incredible capabilities to do something that the average human or a couple humans can't in a much faster time, but it still does require, effort to be able to manage it. So you're not just hands off with it,
Mhm.
but it allows you to do greater things if you utilize it correctly.
Yeah, no, 100%. So just from the year that we've been working together on this project, um, it's not just something that's just out the box, right? It's something that you have to pay attention to. You have to continue optimize because AI is like you say, it's a shiny object thing where people just want to hand it off to and think that it's just gonna produce the result every time perfectly, right? Where that's not necessarily the case because you have to optimize it, you have to train it, things change, campaigns change, and you have to pivot and move. So like you say, these things require, a lot of different types of optimizations and work towards it to get to the goal. But now we're here and we're finally, producing these results. So what what where do you see AI agents kind of outperforming the human reps? Do you see any areas where there's the AI is beating the humans in specific areas, whether it's like speed to first call, follow-up discipline, quality, qualifications. What feedback do you see there?
Yeah, great question. I think primarily that would surround script adherence from from the ability to manage quality or having managed several, hundreds of reps at this point. I think the ability to the AI to stay on track produces a significantly higher quality of call on the back end for our partners. If something doesn't qualify, if something isn't meeting the expectations, it isn't trying to send a call through for performance metrics or for bonuses. It's only trained to send a call through when it actually meets that criteria.
Yeah.
And the variability of inaccuracy from a human agent to an AI agent is significantly decreased. So you don't have as many errors in an AI as you would from someone that's offshore or a human, nonetheless.
Right. No, 100%. Just me and you being in sales for, over a decade, you know how reps get, right? Like after a while, they start getting tired or whatever. They start sending half-baked, half-qualified calls over. So yeah, I totally understand it. Any moments where the AI, the tone or empathy kind of stood out to you?
I
Like,
would say really, especially over the past year, just varying in platforms has significantly improved or impacted that. I think in the beginning, I was impressed from just because it was new. And it was neat that it was able to do some of these sort of things. And now, even over the past 12 months as we've worked together, I think the development of the back end platforms has significantly sped up too. For example, having the AI intentionally stutter and things like that. So it really gives a human element. And then the increase in the number of voices that are available has really surprised me in the fact that it's allowed ultimate customizability to whatever kind of campaign that you're running. You can coordinate that AI from the type of voice to what it's saying to the tone to the personality to really match your audience type, which was significantly one of the more impressive things that I was able to see from it.
True, true. Yeah, I mean, just in the last year, like you say, voice, the different voices that's came out, the way we've been able to create interruptions, little stutters, like you say, just to give it that human feel. Um,
I
and
really like, I too, not to cut you off,
you're
I
good.
also really like call center noises and keyboard typing that you guys are able to do. I know that's kind of a smaller thing, but it gives like something is happening and behind the phone outside of just a robot essentially or an automation.
Right. And to add to that, kind of some of the calls that you were doing were to the older population, and some of these callers would come on and kind of like just kind of pour out their problems and things like that. And what I noticed that the AI voice agent would have empathy and be like, "Oh, I'm sorry that that's happened to you, and that's so unfortunate, and we really wish that that." And it was just kind of like a cool little touch to it because those little things give it like a human feel, and people have those connections, and that's when you can get those higher conversions, right? So any little bit of inch you can get, you always got to take. So
Yeah, it's the call recordings that I've listened to are some of them are pretty far out there with what people are willing to share to the AI, and how it handles it is truly something else because as we said, it is empathetic, it understands and digests the issue without even taking the conversation even too far off course. So it doesn't dilute the empathy by scripted adherence either.
human tasks, did the AI eliminate or compress down for you guys to the versus a human rep?
Yeah, so I mean with an AI, you're not necessarily involved into scheduling payroll, right? And so those hours add up continuously. You're also not worried about agents having time off. And so a lot of operational and like call center management perspective is just removed. Under any scenario, whether it's a human or an AI, you got to look at campaign data. You got to look at the metrics and how it's performing and the ROI on it. However, that's the same. But beyond that, with an AI, that's it. With agents, you have significant amount more back end work, keeping them motivated, showing them up on time, processing their payrolls,
True.
incentivization through bonuses, giving them schedules, new hiring, training, all of that side is basically eliminated, removed from a time perspective, but also a fiscal cost.
Amazing. I mean, our voice AI agents, they get holiday pay though, still. So
Yeah,
I'm
me
just
too.
saying.
Me too. Yeah.
Okay, so talking about the metrics, it's a good transition here. How useful were the dashboards and the transcripts for visibility and coaching to make this better?
Yeah, so I've always gone off the quote, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. And I think that the dashboard provides really critical insight into being able to see the health of your campaign and knowing what to look for to make it work. Going back to what I said, it's not an out of the box solution. You got to put in some legwork to make it work. And if you do, you get to reap those rewards pretty significantly. However, if you're not looking at your data, you don't really know where to drive your boat. And so that dashboard that you guys were able to create for me has just provided significant uplift in the total overall performance of that campaign.
Cool. Hope you like that. Whip that one up for you.
Looks nice. It looks nice too. So it's just, it's something to
Yeah.
show. It looks
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. It's we're gonna continue to improve it. This is just the first iteration. I know you were shooting for that first quarter 2026. I wanted to give you a little early Thanksgiving bonus, for
Can't
being
complain.
a great client. So, dude, we worked hard and threw that up for you, and hopefully that data is going to help you. What kind of scale or was there any scale that the AI unlocked that the humans couldn't match?
I think it just goes back from a time and efficiency standpoint, just reiterating on that. It eliminates the lag time of hiring, interviewing, onboarding, training, and getting them up. So from a time perspective, I can double the size of a campaign overnight with an AI, which is impossible to do in a call center, essentially. Unless you're working with like a BPO or some sort of outsourced call center solution, you're not really going to be able to have that sort of speed internal.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. So, all right. So without sharing any sensitive or specific, figures, how would you describe the impact on the campaign performance and the revenue adding in the AI?
This specific one of the campaign that we're running right now with you guys, in terms of performance, it was my cost per call went from $35 to $15. So almost a 70% decrease in call generation costs,
Beautiful. Okay, sick.
which is huge, which is huge.
Yeah, love it. All right, so let's transition to, working with us, getting support, the reliability, and just kind of like working together in general. How would you describe the support you get from us in terms of responsiveness and communication?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. I think the support is near world class. I've had weekly meetings with you for over a year now. I know I've swapped them from about every single day of the week here, and we're on Tuesdays. But outside of that, it's been very easily. I mean, you have my cell phone number. We call, you answer it late at night. I send you text messages at 5 in the morning. You get Carl's email every single morning at 5 in the morning. And then you help out with that. So I think that there's no reservations in my mind. I think that the customer experience and the commitment at the very least to my success is unmatched.
Sweet. Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, so things always happen, servers go down, Cloudflare has interruptions the internet happens, right? So things just happen. Um, how like were you satisfied with how quickly we resolve we were able to identify issues and then get them fixed when something comes up?
I think in the past 2 years or year, we've had two single technical issues. Today, with Cloudflare going down, we didn't have any negative issues. Today's been great. And yeah, so today's been great. And with something like that at our stake, on the other side of that too is, we had AWS go down this month. That was an outage for a half of a day, if anything, that really affected us, if that. And outside of that, it was just one other time. So it was AWS and one other time. And most of them have been resolved same day. If both of those were outside of that, it's pretty fortunate to say, even despite unforeseen circumstances, there's very little hiccups that I've had through this time period.
Okay, nice. Okay, and was there a time where, we saw a problem before you did?
Yeah, several times, several times. I think you guys have put your own metrics or back end operation or features into place to check when the technology is broken, when it's not dialing, running test calls, and also suggestions. So there's been many of times where you guys have caught something when it's not dialing or something's broken or something needs to be fixed that we haven't seen.
Yeah, we like to give you guys peace of mind. So we have our own little tech that we've built in our own back end to kind of double check the quality assurance, make sure things are running, and when things are not, it pings us, and then that's when, I hit you guys up and let you guys know what's going on. And the ETA to resolve that and things like that. So you're always in the know. You'll never be in the unknown. So that's kind of our goal here. Um,
Yeah, I've shared that similar experience. So
Appreciate it. Um, How confident do you feel that we understood your CRM, your dialer, and your automations enough to solve cross-system issues fast?
well, I think given the fact that, I threw you into an ecosystem of something you've never done before and you never have, I think that the ability to digest new platforms and new systems, what was incredible. You know, it was quick, it was seamless. I didn't have to get on here and train you on a new system. You guys did the legwork to make it work and integrate with whatever I already currently had going, and doing your best to build on top of that and be cohesive there.
Yeah, perfect. So, like we've mentioned before, AI is not just a build it and, set it and forget it. We've built it and we worked on this for quite a while. How has it been, working with us on improving the prompts and the flows, just kind of just making this all work together?
Yeah, I think when, it goes back to you got to give it some love. I think when we really started catching traction as we just sent the revisions and then we tracked the data and see how it improved and then just kept moving forward from that. You guys have been very responsive, goes back to our weekly meetings. Typically, this is where we send our optimizations to you for the week, and those improvements are resolved right away. Oftentimes, faster than I could even think about following up on them, which is great. I think I've already sent you one this morning and it was done before our meeting today. So it makes the improvements and that side of it super easy.
Yeah, I think, I feel like the most successful people just do things really quickly. It's literally speed of implementation. So like, and that's kind of like how I like to do things. I don't like to sit on them if they don't need to be sit on. That way we kind of like, we get things fixed and then we get these things rolling and then boom, we get to the next step, whatever we need to do. Um, so we're just going to transition here to, future and recommendation part, which is who should consider this? What kind of call centers do you think should seriously consider voice AI after your experience?
I mean, I think really anybody can use this, just in the facet of how I'm using it in several different formats, whether that's screening inbound calls. So if you have an insurance agency, and you want calls to be screened prior to them delivering to your agents for quality or filtering out customer service or department routing, that's a great feature. Lead generation companies, to quickly call and efficiently dial their leads. So any lead generation company, I think, is an absolute one. Anyone who's generating leads should really be using an AI to call them and not really necessarily needing a call center agent. Um, if you're not calling your leads, you're wasting money anyways. And so that at the very minimum, and anyone buying or ingesting should absolutely be doing that. That'd be my recommendation.
I don't think there's anybody in the space that spent more money on outbound AI than you so far.
We've given it our all, and so we're super thankful for your commitment and to our success as well. Because you guys got into the mud right with us, and so we were prepared. We did it, and we couldn't have made it to that level of spend and that amount of dials. I think we've done over 1 million dials. We're pretty damn near close to, and at that point, we don't get there if things don't start working.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you too, man, on your end for trusting us and trusting us to build this for you and letting us, make all these things work. So just thank you. Appreciate that. So if another company asked you, what it's like working with us, what would you tell them?
Oh, it's wonderful. I mean, at the end of the day, you have people like to do business with someone you enjoy, and that's the most important thing is I enjoy you as an individual to do business with, and I like doing business with you, but also, from the back end of it, you guys, are valuable and an instrumental piece in, our growth and our future and innovation. So so far between the experience, the direction of where we're heading, and just the nature of how we do business, it's just a super cohesive fit that I would recommend to anybody.
And yeah, bro, I can't wait to add more campaigns and just keep this going. So for the last thing,
Well, we got 3 more to add today. I'm still
yeah,
sending you that docs by the end of the night.
yeah, for sure. So this is the last thing. So finish this last sentence. If you were on the fence, so for somebody that's, on the fence about AI, if you were on the fence about AI, if you were on the fence about using AI for your business, you should do it because And what would you fill in the blank?
If you are on the fence about using AI, you should. The first thing that comes to my mind is you should do it because you'll get left behind if not. Personally speaking.
That's
And the
true.
reason why I say that is because people who are using it are going to be able to do things at half the cost, half the speed, half the time that people who are. And the people who choose not to adapt eventually will go out of business because their cost to do the same thing just will not be able to balance that profitability. The efficiency is going to drive the cost of things down because it's a lot easier to get, a lot easier to do. So it's going to drive the selling cost down. And people who don't adapt are going to have high labor, high costs, high operational costs, but the price of their good is going to fall, allowing and squeezing all their margin out. And so if you've been on the fence about AI, you should do it because if not, you will get left behind. Just a matter of when, not if.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it. And I just want to say thank you again, for everything. And yeah, man, thank you for the call.
Yeah, thanks for all you do for us, man. We appreciate it and looking forward to many more. Absolutely.
Okay, last thing. If you pay for leads, you sell through calls, bookings, or transfers, an AI employee like this can replace a big chunk of human call floor. If you want to see what an AI employee would look like in your funnel, go to the link in the description and apply for a breakdown call. We'll look at your numbers, map where AI should sit, and tell you upfront if this is going to be a good fit in your business. If it is, we build it and tune it until it behaves like a real employee. Your call.